flame on max. I'ma keep it going till there ain't nothing left. Going till there ain't nothing. Keep the flame on. Gotta keep the flame on. Gotta keep the flame, keep the flame, keep the flame on.
Welcome to Cairns for the penultimate night of the Chemist Warehouse WNBL regular season. And tonight we've got a beauty. It's the 4th place Townsville Fire up against the 5th place Adelaide Lightning in a matchup with all kinds of playoff implications. Good evening, everybody. Liam Santamaria on hand alongside Michelle Gubbles and Michelle. The Townsville Fire have 1 foot in next week's finals, but Adelaide, they're not quite out of it yet.
Not quite. So if Adelaide win these games, like these last couple of games, there's still a chance. It'll mean they beat Townsville, and because Townsville and Adelaide only play once, it'll pop them ahead of Townsville. So this is a crucial match, a really crucial match.
So it's all on the line for Adelaide tonight. Win and they are still alive, and it'll come down to what happens on Sunday. But lose and their playoff dreams are over. It's a pretty straightforward message for Chris Lucas. It's now or never.
Yeah, and once they get over this hurdle, say they do win, for instance, tonight, they've still got to get over Sydney. And Sydney, they gave the Flyers a big scare last night. And, I was actually a bit sad that they didn't quite get across the line because I think they really deserved it.
The Fire, of course, coming off their win over Canberra last Sunday. They are in terrific form. Now, they haven't quite locked in their spot in the top 4 just yet, but in the meantime, they're also looking up the standings at a potential top 2 finish. Yeah,
for sure. It's like Townsville, they've played so well. They've had a really good season, and it would be really sad for them not to make the 4. But I've spoken to a lot of prominent people in basketball of late, and I think the general gist is that Townsville are going to make it through. And, they still can get second spot. It's up for grabs.
Well, the situation is pretty clear for Adelaide. So they need 3 strikes, as Bodinaj put it today. The great Bodinaj, the doyen of basketball journalism in this country. I like the way he laid it out. 3 strikes. They need a win tonight, Adelaide. Of course, this will be the only time these 2 teams will meet this season, so they'll have the head-to-head split over Townsville, and then they need the Fire to lose to Melbourne on Sunday, and Adelaide will need to get their own win over Sydney. So 3 boxes to tick for the Lightning, and they'll have to get over the Fire to tick the first box. Here's how they will roll out. Lauren Nicholson and Shyla Heel in the backcourt. Mia Murray, the milestone girl in this game tonight, her 300th WNBL game. Congratulations to her. Payne and Mackay up front.
And they're not changing their starting 5, and why would you? It's working for them. They had that bit of a hiccup against Perth last Friday, and they were coming off a 4-game break last week, and they're doing the same again this week. So let's hope they don't have a hiccup again.
Chris Lucas mixing up his starting lineup, Michelle. So it's Wilson and Wirrung in the backcourt as usual. Talbot and Brooke in the forward spots. Tonight, Luella Tomlinson going to start in the middle.
Yeah, look, I'm actually not surprised that he started with Luella Tomlinson instead of Whittle, because I think they're a bit concerned. They're a bit concerned about the height of Nadine Payne at 6'2" and Megan Mackay at 6'4". So I think that's why he's starting Tomlinson.
So, Michelle, I spoke about Mia Murray, her 300th, the 3-time WNBL champ, 2015 Grand Final MVP. The presentation for her will be in front of family and friends in Townsville on Sunday, but she brings up the big 300 tonight.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good move from the league to do that, to move it to Sunday, where
you know, they're at a home game in Townsville, and everyone can watch rather than just present it and watch it on TV in Cairns.
Let's talk about some of the matchups we're going to see especially on the perimeter, Michelle. We expect Ali Wilson and Shyla Heal to face off. Do Talbot and Nicholson guard each other?
Look, I think Lauren Nicholson would definitely guard Steph Talbot, but I don't think Talbot will guard Nicholson. I think that might be left up to Abby Weirang, because they're both defensive specialists, Nicholson and Weirang.
We're underway at the Snack Pit in Cairns. 4th versus 5th. A playoff dream on the line for Adelaide. Must win to keep it alive. Big matchup. Here's Heal on the attack. Shyla Heal to the rim. Can't finish. And the ball goes to Adelaide.
It was a beautiful take, and, you know, there might be a little bit of nerves in this, you know, to start with, and you just got to run that out and then settle into your game, and she'll make them the rest of those.
Adelaide coming in off a 10-point win over Bendigo the other night. Really got us some questions by the winless Spirit, but they got through it. And they're alive and kicking as they come into this one. Talbot, MVP candidate, off the rim with her first look. Here's Heal on the hop. Nicholson, Talbot switches off. Brooke takes over, step back, Nicholson to open scoring.
Nicholson is just so tough to guard, so tough. She's having an awesome season.
Turnover for Ali Wilson. Here comes Mia Murray. No one guarding Murray as she looks at long range, can't knock it down.
I'm not sure how that happens. You've got to get your rotations right.
Complete defensive breakdown for the Lightning. Wilson can't roll it in off the rim.
It's like there's glad wrap on the ring for Adelaide at this stage.
Heal on the attack.
Bit of a shaky start for both teams.
Weirang flips it to Wilson. The ball finds Talbot. Another look from long range.
And you can't afford to go under screens on someone like Talbot.
He struggled a little bit from range this season, Talbot. 29%, sub 30. But has been absolutely stuffing the stat sheet. Mackay off the feed, finishes at the cup.
A beautiful feed. Beautiful pick and roll.
Here's Weirang, bounces off Megan Mackay, and the foul goes on Mackay. And we're seeing that Nicholson-Talbot matchup down this end of the floor. Michelle switched on to Weirang there. Definitely one to watch.
Yeah. And my worry, Megan Mackay seems to get into foul trouble quite a bit and has to get subbed out, and that's my worry for Townsville.
Wilson needs to have a big game for Adelaide. Weirang can't hit from three, so they're having a little trouble getting going, Adelaide at the offensive end. Townsville, meanwhile, up and about. Nicholson, and one finish.
That's one person that's not having trouble getting up and about, Nicholson. When she takes it, she kind of just like tucks it under her arm, and it's really hard to defend.
Top 5 in the league in scoring, Nicholson, 18 a game. 7-zip start for Townsville. It'll be all she wrote for Adelaide in terms of their finals hopes if they go down tonight. And they've fallen behind in the early going. Brooke can't finish at the rim. They've had some good looks. Adelaide cannot open their account. Nicholson off the Mackay screen, wheeling, dealing, fading away, kissing it off the glass.
She just can do no wrong, and this will be a Chris Lucas timeout, I have absolutely no doubt, because Nicholson is looking to have a cracking game.
Goodness me, Nicholson rolling in the early going. She's got 7. The Fire have 9. The Lightning have a donut.
7 points, and what, we're not even 3 minutes into the game yet. So she's looking for a pretty big game.
Pick and roll wise. So remember, if Mia's this back, so that's where we're on, right? And they're spread pick and roll. And we show Mia's the roll. This player here's got to sink. They're the sink. So if they skip it, they've got to go, and now we exit out, right? So we've got to get to that, especially when it's flare up, right? Out of this here, let's go with diamond, right? Go with diamond, be aggressive. Go, Kelsey.
So Shannon Seaboom, he's been extended as coach until the end of 2024, and the Townsville general manager, Sam Pascoe, actually called him the best coach in the WNBL. That is a big call.
Is he wrong?
He's up there. He's definitely up there. I don't want to offend any coaches here. They'll start messaging me.
No, sit on the fence, Michelle. Second year at the helm in Townsville, Seaboom. Adelaide trying to get going. Would have been fascinating to hear what Chris Lucas had to say to his Chargers in that huddle. Mackay bumping, grinding. Good defense from Tomlinson. That's why she's in the game.
When you're shooting from outside like Adelaide are, and it's not very good, you got to look. They're just going to have to take it to the basket and try and make things happen inside, because they're just pinging from outside is clearly not working for them.
Wirang doing exactly that, and she gets scoring underway for the Lightning. 9-2, almost 4 minutes into this big game in Cairns. Mackay hands off to Heel, rattles out. Talbot flies in for the board. Second in the league in rebounding, Steph Talbot. Tomlinson turns down the three-point look. Wirang doesn't want to, but will.
She shouldn't hesitate there, though.
Tomlinson wheeling and dealing. Oh, boy. Went all the way to the cup. Talbot, offensive board. Free throws for Talbot.
And that was a great offensive board. It was a strange move from Tomlinson. She put that very, very high on the glass.
She might have got away with a carry in the block there, Tomlinson. But either way, it was a strong attack on the rim.
And that's what they probably need a bit more of. Just work it inside and until you can get your stroke from outside.
Talbot shooting 72% on the line, from the line on the season. 0 from 3 to begin tonight from long range. And she'll get some confidence after those 2 freebies. The margin's been cut down to 5. Nicholson in
That's a great
trouble.
trap. Really good trap there.
Marina Whittle into the game. Tomlinson's out for Adelaide. Adelaide slip into a little zone to defensive end. Kate Gaze into the game for Townsville. She's open. Heel finds her. She'll knock it down. Well, she usually does. Mackay with the putback.
Yeah, and Megan Mackay, she was free as a bird. She was jumping up and down, calling for it. Townsville have to see that.
A little two-man game, Brooke and Talbot. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Talbot wants some more space to operate. Crosses up. Numbers coming all over Talbot, and the turnover results.
It was the right idea, just a bad execution. And that they actually play pretty well together, Talbot and Chelsea Brooke.
I feel like she's a real key for Adelaide tonight, Brooke. 10 points a game for the 22-year-old, but when she plays big, Adelaide usually win. Heel calls for the ball screen from Mackay. Attacks down the middle of the lane and rolls it in. Good finish from Shyla Heel.
Beautiful finish, and she just has that little hesitation, makes the person guarding her stand upright, and then she attacks.
Wirang right back at her, and one finish for Wirang.
So this game, Liam, it could come down to, you know, a foul count on players. It really could, because the starters are going to play some serious minutes for both teams.
Well, Heel comes out after picking up her first personal. Kuso and Steph Reed into the game for Townsville.
And what a luxury to have a Kuso coming off the bench for you.
So that bucket didn't count for Abby Weirong. Rough call from the officials. 5-second violation on the out of bounds. She should have got continuation there, Michelle.
I think she should have. I just assumed.
Nicholson wide open underneath. Contested by Whittle. Akuso with the offensive board. Well, I thought she travelled. And she takes advantage of the no call. 15-4 Townsville making a statement early, the Fire. Whittle gets it back for Adelaide. New shot clock. Wilson trying to shake the best defensive player in the land. Finds Brooke, who knocks it in from the corner.
And Chelsea Brooke is a very, very good three-point shooter. So maybe, you know, they can look for her out there, having a big guarder.
A little shaky there, Steph Reed. Ball finds Payne in the corner. Nicholson tracks down the offensive board. Reed resets for the Fire off the Akuso screen. A little hezzy from Reed. Oh, wraparound pass. Akuso late in the shot clock. Wilson picks it off. 2-on-1 for Adelaide. Wilson finds Talbot, and she messes up the layup.
Wow.
Went with the left on the right. Got a little wrong-footed Talbot, and Adelaide come up short.
You don't see that very often, Talbot missing layups like that.
Reed from long range. Bang! That's down for Steph Reed.
Beautiful shot, and that's a bonus. You can sub Shyla Heel out, and then you still got Steph Reed coming in.
Look at the field goals from Adelaide. Now 3 from 13 as Wilson dimes up Brooke. High quality game we've got here in Cairns. Playoffs on the line. Reed again fools the defense with the hezzy, and she's off to the free throw line.
That was a pretty big foul. There was no way she was going to get that up.
So that's a second personal foul on Weirong, second team foul for the Lightning.
So yeah, he's had to pull her out. She's too valuable to the team to risk her. Just give her a bit of a break. Maybe we'll see her in the start of the second quarter.
Taylor Ortlip into the game for Adelaide. Scoreless in 10 minutes of action on Wednesday night. As Reed knocks down her freebies, takes her tally to 5 and puts the margin out to double figures. Wilson lets it fly from range, and we've got ourselves a wedgie.
Another wedgie. I'd like to know, do we have a stat on how many wedgies there have been during this season? It seems like a lot.
I reckon I might be leading the commentators' tally on wedgies.
Yeah, I think I've only ever commentated with you when there have been wedgies.
And get a little bucket out of it, thanks to the officials. On target throw. Adelaide will get it back, 14 on the shot clock. Whittle gets it underneath. Megan Mackay sends it away. Big block from Mackay at the hoop. Nicholson off the dribble. Oh, she is all class, Lauren Nicholson.
She can do no wrong, and in my eyes, she will be up there for the MVP of the
Oh,
league.
she'll certainly be up there, Michelle. Will she get it?
Or you've got a person like Liz Cambage who might be up there as well. So, but I reckon they're my top two.
Great pass from Reed in transition. Sets up Megan Mackay. 16-point lead to Townsville. Wilson thought it might be an offensive foul. Instead, she's off to the charity stripe as Adelaide try to stay in touch.
But that's what they need to do, like Alex Wilson, bring a bit of physicality, you know, take it to the hoop, draw some fouls.
Shoots 79% from the free throw line this season, Ali Wilson.
You mozzed her. It's your fault,
I've
Liam.
just given you the numbers. Michelle. Splits that pair. Adelaide into double figures. And they extend the pressure defensively. Reed handles it. Nicholson nearly loses it out of bounds. Single digits on the shot clock. Turnover for Townsville. And Wilson grabs the loose ball. Foul on Kate Gaze. So that should be free throws for Ali Wilson down the other end.
Yeah, puts them in the bonus, but yeah, and that could be the difference. That's what I'm saying. If, you know, teams, if Adelaide can get into the bonus each quarter and maybe get some of their the Townsville Fire in foul trouble, I think that might be their only hope.
Coming off back-to-back 14-point games, Wilson. Again, splits that pair. Brooke Basham into the game for Adelaide, the rookie development player. There she is, finds Ortlip, launches it. Mackay takes it away for Townsville.
Really nice box out from Kate Gaze there.
Early minutes for Basham. Michelle, that take you by surprise?
It does, but when you're down by 13 points and nothing seems to be going right for you, it's worth a try.
Kuso wheeling and dealing and scoring in the lane.
He could be going with the Jade Melbourne theory, you know, throw them out there and you never know what they can do.
They need to find her on the arc, Basham. 5 of 8 on the season. Wilson loses the handle. Reed takes it away. That was an ugly possession from the Lightning.
That was a really ugly possession from Ali Wilson.
Reed, pull up, bucket. Everything going right for Townsville. The first quarter is in the books, and with Steph Reed's buzzer-beating pull-up, the Fire take a 28-11 lead into the opening change.
Yeah, I just, you look at Townsville and they just go deeper in the bench, I think. So if this continues and the bench is holding up, Steph Reed, she's holding the team up well too. I just think it could be end up being a very long night for Adelaide.
Reed came in and had 7 quick points off the bench. 2 of 2 from the field.
Down here, we're getting too caught up in early shots. Slow down. Be attacking, get the ball through here. Get a good shot there. Okay? All right. Let's go loop out. Okay, let's get execution. Read this for you. Right, we've got to see mismatches. Yeah, that's okay. You go to the pinch position. You go straight to Ella. Okay, duck in. Chet, Kate Gaze on it. Kate Gaze. Stretch the floor and go inside, guys. Okay, out of the timeout, we're in 2. Okay, lift on the floor. Aggressive, let's go.
So Michelle, with so much on the line, Adelaide have just taken a fair punch in the mouth in that opening term. What was your sense of the emotion in that quarter-time huddle?
Look, Chris Lucas didn't seem as, you know, worried as I thought he would. He was actually quite calm, and everything he was saying was exactly right. You know, get it through hands, and if you've got to make them pay. If they're going to switch and you end up with Kate Gaze on a big, and I'm not even sure who he was talking about, but Kate Gaze ended up on a big, you've got to stretch the floor, so take the ball back, give them some space, and then pump it in and let them go to work.
There's Hill back in the game. Top 10 in the league in scoring, Shyla Hill. And the favourite, well, she should be favourite for most improved player, you'd suggest, this season. Michelle, she'll be in the running for Youth Player of the Year as well.
Yeah, and I thought she was very good last season with Bendigo too, but this season is just next level.
Nicholson off the pain pick, making plays off the dribble. Wow, she's in her bag right now, Nicholson.
Yeah, they just can't stop her.
11 points, 5 of 6 from the field. Adelaide execute their play for Whittle, but ends in a turnover.
It just looks a bit messy from Adelaide. Like, you know, that possession before when we saw Alex Wilson put it behind the back and it went wayward. Then she put it through the legs and it went wayward. And just, you know, the passes inside. It's not crisp, it's not clean.
So it's a 19-point ball game. Almost a minute into the second quarter. With so much on the line. Adelaide now trailing by 21.
And that's the last thing Adelaide need, is for Nadine Payne to get hot from outside.
The toe was on the line, Payne, just a 2-point field goal. With Adelaide come up empty. Wow, what a statement this has been from Townsville early doors. Nicholson, another bucket. Townsville on fire in Cairns.
Yeah, and it's tough, like to go into a zone to clog up that middle so Nicholson can't do that. Then they've got shooters from outside. They've got the whole game, Townsville.
Another turnover for the Lightning Gaze. Akuso, Nicholson. Oh boy, timeout Adelaide.
Look, I almost think that they do need to go into a zone and just give that a bit, maybe not a 2-3, maybe a 1-2-2.
Beautiful basketball there from the Fire in semi-transition. And yeah, they are getting whatever they want at the offensive end.
And they've really got to, they somehow got to clog up the middle so they can't, because they're not, there's no help defense. Adelaide don't have any help defense. So I don't think they can stay in man-to-man.
Well, they've heard the noise, the Fire, no doubt. All this talk about how big this game is for who might make the finals, and it feels like they're making a statement to say that that's irrelevant. We're not worrying about making the finals. We're trying to win this thing.
Yeah, and they have a very good chance. I've got to be honest. You know, they are like the crispest team, I think, out there. Like their execution of their offense, their execution of their defense, it's just all really clean.
There's the numbers for Lauren Nicholson, 15 points, the game-leading scorer. Look at that, 7 of 8 from the field. Getting whatever she wants offensively, and it's a 12-zip run to the Fire.
And you've got the Fire extending their D now. They're just relentless. They're not giving a break. They don't want Adelaide to get a sniff of this at all.
Talbot, can she get herself going? Rattles it in from long range. Oh man, they needed that one.
Certainly did.
She's 1 from 4 from outside now, Talbot. Akuso wants it down low. And that's why.
It actually looked like they may have almost been box and one-ing Nicholson. We'll have a look next time down the floor.
Talbot on Nicholson. The ball swings, finds Weirung, pull up, comes off the rim. Payne takes it away, and the foul called on Luella Tomlinson. Her first personal.
They can't let this slip out any further. They really can't.
It's a 24-point margin.
And that's a pretty good statement they're making.
Couple of minutes into the second term.
So if you have a look at Abby Wirrung, she's just face guarding Nicholson. That's a full denial. They don't want her to get the ball.
Late in the shot clock, Heel needs to let it fly. Does so off the dribble. Heads up play from Shiloh Heel.
It's a beautiful play.
Used every last second of the shot clock and got exactly what she wanted. Tomlinson rips, finds Talbot. Nicholson not giving her any space. Offensive foul on Tomlinson.
And that was really good D by Nadine Payne. She just held her ground. And that's probably a bit of frustration from Tomlinson.
Townsville smothering D, frustrating the Lightning.
So they're fronting up against the Boomers next Sunday, Townsville, and I think they have the best D in the league, both those teams. It'll be an interesting game.
Nicholson to the cup, can't finish. Adelaide take it, 40-14. My head is spinning with this start by Townsville. Wirrung cuts into the margin. Heel, oh wow, flips it up, wrong-footed. Here comes Wirrung. She's trying to get Adelaide going. Tomlinson has another look at it. Ortler does likewise on the attack. Skip. Talbot for three. In and out.
It was nice ball movement, but they just can't get that score.
And the whistle blown from the official. Not sure what the issue is. Be a shot clock issue, perhaps. 40-16. Goodness me, what a start from Townsville. They won the opening term 28-11. And they've gone 12-5 thus far in the second.
Yeah, it's a pretty impressive performance from Townsville. And I think the Boomers will be watching this with interest right now.
So how do Adelaide cut into this thing? I mean, it's a long, long journey back from this, 24 points down. But what do they need to do, Michelle, to change things up here in the last 5 minutes 38 before half-time?
Look, I just think they need to take it back to X's and O's. Just get their execution. The shots will drop. The shots haven't been bad. But I'd like to see Talbot take it more inside and really make them play, make the defence shift, penetrating and just take it hard. They need to get some stops here, and that's a start.
2 of 11 from long range, Adelaide. 5 of 22 from the field, 22%. And they've tossed the ball away 7 times already. There you see the field goal shooting. Look at the difference there. 18 from 29 for the Fire. They're 62% from the field. Getting right to the rim.
But I'm actually really just loving watching Townsville right now. You know, they're making this good for me.
So nothing up the floor from Adelaide. They are in that box and one. Still, you spoke about Nicholson just spacing out into the corner. Wirrung face guarding. And Mia Murray taking advantage on the strong side.
And as Mia Murray was taking that shot, you should have seen how hard Nicholson went to get that board.
And that's the 8th turnover on the night already from Adelaide. bad quickly becoming worse.
Yeah, it's just nothing is going right for Adelaide. And that wasn't even a good feed, though, from Badish from outside. Like, the pass was wayward. There was no chance Talbot could get that.
Nicholson again spacing out in the corner, letting her teammates operate in space, getting on the glass, keeping it alive, finding a way to contribute despite the extra defensive attention. Steph Reed, oh boy, getting right to the rim and scoring off the glass.
That's a beautiful move.
Whittle, oh, nifty move off the dribble from Whittle. Doesn't have to touch on the finish, wins it back for Adelaide. Midway through this second term, Wirrung trying to make something happen, and does. You'd love the endeavour from Abby Wirrung at both ends of the floor.
Yeah, and she's probably holding Adelaide up at this stage.
Reed open on the arc. (45-18). Here comes Brooke from long range. That's way off. Mackay juggles the board.
And that's
Touchdown
what
pass.
happens. I
wayward.
just say how good Chelsea Brooke shoots from outside, and then she gives an air ball up. They almost just, Adelaide look like they're defeated. Like they just look defeated already. And the bonus for Townsville now will be if they can get even a bit more of their bench in and give their starters that much more rest. It'll be the battle of the rested on Sunday against the Boomers, because they did the same thing.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, this win is in the books. They've got a big game against Melbourne on Sunday, where they battle for a top 2 finish.
Yeah. Yep.
Have a look at the differential there on the bench points. 13-0 for the Fire.
And that doesn't surprise me at all. Even the starters for the Lightning are struggling to score. So I'm not sure how they think the bench is going to score. They just look really stagnant in offense. They've somehow got to make things happen. Set more picks. I want to see more picks. Pick and rolls from the Lightning. Maybe get some on balls for Steph Talbot.
Well, they need to find a way to rid her of Lauren Nicholson, who is all up in her stuff. Most possessions up the floor. Here's the Fire extend the pressure. Talbot with the double. Nicholson with the double. Talbot gets out of it. Here comes Wirrung. Staggered ball screen. They've got Brooke on the flare. She's open. And she can't hit it. And 2 from 13 from long range now, Adelaide.
Yeah, at 15%, they're going to have to go inside more. They can't just keep relying on that 3.
Mackay seals, spins, steps through, can't finish. Whittle takes it. Here come Adelaide. Can they cut into this margin prior to half-time? Give them something to work on after the break. Brooke, not her comfort zone off the dribble, and the turnover eventuates. Frustration builds for Adelaide. Oh, Payne got away with.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a drag of that pivot foot.
Retest the defense. Nicholson curling, finds Mackay down low. Great seal from Megan Mackay, and she cashes in off the board. She's in double figures, Mackay. Second leading scorer for Townsville behind Nicholson, who has 15. Brooke can't make it happen. And here comes Nicholson. Townsville all over Adelaide in this opening half. It's a 29-point margin. Whittle, little Bob Cousy-esque down the floor. And she draws the foul.
And
Townsville's first team foul of the quarter.
And it's just like Townsville are working to get each other free and setting good picks and getting good seals inside. And when Adelaide get it, they're just pushing it up the floor and they're just trying to get themselves to the rack. There's no teamwork. It's really not a good display from them.
Ellie Wilson heads to the score table. She'll come into the game next chance. Wirrung continuing to attack. Gets to the free throw line.
I really can't see Adelaide coming back from here.
It's a big mountain to climb, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd like to say yes, I think so, but I'm going to be blunt and just say no, I think they're done and dusted.
Well, what started as an intriguing matchup with massive playoff implications may well turn into a celebration of this Townsville Fire team and what they have brought to the table tonight, but really over the course of the entire regular season.
Yeah, and deservedly so. They've played some good ball. They had one hiccup against Perth, but they've played some awesome ball, and they really, really deserve that final spot.
High-low Payne to Akuso. Well guarded down low from Talbot. She comes up with it. The pick comes from Carly Smith. Now she's open and she scores underneath. Instant impact off the bench from Carly Smith.
Yeah, and that's a bit better. They're working together, set that pick, and then look for her on the cut under the basket.
Heel working off Akuso, skips it to Payne, and a stop for Adelaide. So a couple of positive possessions for the Lightning here as we wind down the final minute of the second quarter. And they finish the half on a high, the Lightning. Whittle skips it to Smith, 5 on the shot clock. They need to let it fly. Ortlip does that and back rims it. So a 12-second differential. Ten on the shot clock now for Townsville. Here's Reed, guarded by Talbot. Akuso has it, flips it back out to Reed. Finds Payne, what a beautiful pass, but she can't finish. 10 on the clock for Adelaide. Talbot has it. What can she muster up to finish the second quarter? Gets rid of it, Talbot. Wants it back, gets it back, and misses the turnaround. So a disappointing half for Adelaide finishes on a Steph Talbot miss, and the Townsville Fire, after a scintillating start to the game, take a 25-point lead into halftime. It's Townsville 47, Adelaide 22.
Wow, that is not what most of us expected from that opening half. Of course, we thought Townsville would get this game, Michelle, but with so much on the line for Adelaide, we thought it would be closer than this, but Townsville have just come out and gone whack.
They certainly have, and they've just been fantastic. I cannot fault them at all, and Adelaide, to be perfectly honest, have been really disappointing. And you don't want to finish your 2021 season like this, not with something like, they're looking at a 50-point loss.
Lauren Nicholson has been the star that has led the way for Townsville all season long, and she came out in attack mode tonight, the game leading scorer with 15, 7 of 10 from the field, a couple of boards, a couple of dimes, and she has really been operating at the offensive end, and getting it done defensively as well.
Yeah, and so valuable. She is so valuable to her team. I can't stress that enough. And look, I just love watching her play, and she's the difference right now.
She'll walk-up start for the Opals next year.
I think Sandy Brondello will be having a really close look at this. So Sandy actually flew up to Cairns today. I spoke to her just before she left, and then she did mention a few names of players, Nicholson, Shyla Heal, and, she also mentioned Maddie Rocci as well. She's been so impressed, really impressed with the league and, these players, and is just loving watching them. She does think that, we need to boost and showcase the league a little bit more, and I agree. But it was really funny because as she said that to me, I was driving in Kilsyth and I was driving past a billboard, and there's the Melbourne Boomers, and it was advertising tonight's game. So that was really good, and it's like, yeah, we do need to showcase this WNBL. It's a great sport.
I like how you're just bringing the scoops here at halftime. Those players will enjoy hearing their names mentioned by the Opals coach.
Oh, she mentioned lots.
Here are the match highlights. Now, it starts with the Megan Mackay bucket. Michelle, we'll come back to talk about her in a moment because she had a stellar opening half. And here she is again, getting all over the offensive glass. Here's Shyla Heal. She was her usual active self, 4 points and 4 boards for Heal. Steph Reed, what an impact she had off the bench. 9 points, 3 of 4 from the field, and knocked one in from long range. Wilson was not as prevalent as she usually is. Michelle, 2 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, but also a couple of turnovers. Megan Mackay, let's zero in on her for a moment. 10 points and 5 boards in that opening half. The 23-year-old was sensational.
Yeah, and she's shooting 62% from the field tonight. She's tough, young, tough, and I love watching her play. And she's another up-and-comer as well.
Steph Talbot rattled that 3-ball in. She's got 5 points, 1 of 7 from the field. She is going to be waking up in sweats, I think, tonight with thoughts of Lauren Nicholson in a defensive stance because having all sorts of trouble shaking loose, and that's the result, 47-22. You see the difference there with the field goal shooting. Michelle, a slight rebounding edge to Townsville. What stands out to you from those numbers?
Oh, look, I'm just looking at the 3-point percentage from the Adelaide Lightning. Look, 14%. You've got to find something else. Like stop pinging from outside because it's just not working, and it's not brain surgery. Not working. Do something different. Pick some rolls. Get it inside. Just really take it up to them because right now Townsville are just having their way with Adelaide.
Now, you mentioned the chat you had on the phone with Opals coach Sandy Brondello. Have you been speaking to any other legends? A little birdie tells me you might have had a conversation with another legend of the league.
I did. I'm pulling out all the guns here. I had a chat with Michelle Timms last night, and like we were talking about because. During the week, Lauren Nicholson had that, she was charged with careless and median impact on Talia Tupea. Now, I did not know, and I'm quite good friends with Timsy, and I did not know she was on the game review panel until I saw that. But, like we were just discussing it, and I think $150 fine, and that's a good result, and she's not rubbed out. We don't want to see players like that taken out, especially in a hub season, but in any season at all. And the good part is that Nicholson is still eligible for all the awards at the end, because I have no doubt she'll be in the running for quite a few of them, maybe Defensive Player of the Year, in the All-Star 5, maybe even the league MVP with what I've seen all season and what I'm seeing tonight.
Let's have a look at some of the other games that we've seen over the last 24 hours. Last night it was the Caps with the win over Perth. There you see 96-69. It was a big, healthy margin. Did you catch this? What did you like about Canberra as they got back in the winner's circle?
Yeah, and Canberra looked pretty clean with what they do. And also, when I was talking to Timsy on the phone, which brings me into a very important point, she felt that in this top four that we're going to have, that the biggest player that is going to make the biggest impact is Mariana Tolo. She just said that she'll give Liz Cambage a run for her money, and she's just smooth around the basket. And I agree with her. Tolo's back to the basket moves, if you can get it into her outside, her footwork is just outstanding.
It was a 27-point night for Maddie Rocci, 15 and 10 for Kelsey Griven, and it was Katie Ray Ebsbury had 24 for Perth, and I enjoyed this one. Sydney Uni took it right up to the Southside Flyers last night, had a healthy lead inside the last couple of minutes. Cambage, 24 points in just 27 minutes on the floor. But how about the line from Anneli Maley last night? 19 points and 17 boards. And it was a Sarah Blitzav's triple, a couple late, but one in particular in the corner that got the Flyers this win.
Yeah, and they had trouble. The Flyers had trouble also guarding Lauren Mansfield. So she had 21 points, 44% from the field, and 7 rebounds as well. And it was just really uncharacteristic of the Flyers. And when I was talking to Sandy, she was talking about how when you have a bit of a break, it's hard to get into that rhythm. Well, the Flyers had just had a 3-day break, and coming back in, Sydney honestly was making them look really ordinary. And I never saw that coming.
But as, of course, Pete Hooley and Cam Luke said on the call last night, sometimes you just got to win ugly. You know, good teams have a knack of doing that, and geez, they got out of jail late in that one. And Michelle, we saw obviously the big win there from Southside, the big win from Canberra last night. Well, I'd say big win for Southside, a narrow win. Big win from the Melbourne Boomers earlier tonight. Those three. How does this Townsville Fire team, who we're watching putting the heat on Adelaide right now, stack up with that top three?
Look, I honestly think if I was the top three, I'd be a little bit worried. If they play like they are tonight, they have every chance. And the thing is, with the finals set up the way it's set up, it is only one game, okay? So it's not like it's over 3 games. And it's almost like old style when I used to play. It was only one game for every final. There wasn't all this 3 games. So I'd be a little bit worried. And I think Townsville, they have a very good chance of, 1, being in that grand final, and 2, never know.
Here's the upcoming games on Sunday, the final day of the Chemist Warehouse WNBL regular season. Townsville and Melbourne battling it out. The Caps and the Flyers going at it in what could be a grand final preview. And the Sydney Uni Flames taking on Adelaide. Assuming Townsville go on to win this one, what are you looking forward to on Sunday?
Yeah, Townsville and Boomers, that's going to be an exciting match, isn't it? And I think they match up really well. And Tess Madgen, that I have no doubt the Boomers are going to have Tess Madgen back out there. She's rested a couple of games now, and it'll be a really good test to see exactly where Townsville are.
So what kind of response does Adelaide head coach Chris Lucas get out of his squad to begin this second half? They trail by 25, lose, and their finals dreams are over. What will have been his primary message in the halftime break?
I think just, maybe relax, get the ball through hands, try to get each other free, work for each other, because you don't want to finish your season on an absolute blowout and being given a lesson in basketball when you know that your team is not actually as bad as they're playing.
As the leading scorers for Townsville, Nicholson on 15. I mentioned Mackay, 10 points and 5 boards. Reed and Akuso with their 13 points off the bench. And Shyla Heel, top 10 in the league in scoring. That's the frightening thing for Adelaide. She hasn't even got going yet.
I know, but you do know that the second half is the Shiloh Hill half. So you know, maybe that we'll get a bit of a back seat from Nicholson.
There's the other start point for Adelaide. Steph Talbot with 5 points, second in the league in points at 19 a game. And just finding it really difficult to get space and get buckets.
When you've got, you know, your top 5 scorers and 2 of them only have 2 points, you've got to start worrying a little.
So Marina Whittle back into the starting lineup for Adelaide to begin this second half. Luella Tomlinson back to the bench. There is Steph Talbot, second in points, second in rebounds, third in steals, top 10 in blocks, and they really need her to get going in this second half. We're underway in the third quarter at the Cairns Pop-Up Arena, affectionately known as the Snag Pit. Adelaide open with a turnover.
I really like Snag Pit, by the way.
You're on board?
Yeah, I'm on board.
Good to have you on deck. We spoke to the Cairns councillor, Max O'Halloran, in the previous game, Michelle, and he's on board.
Yeah, he did like it too, didn't he?
He said the entrance to this building, when you used to come in that front door, you'd always have just put a snag away. Another turnover, 2 straight turnovers for Adelaide to begin the second half. Nicholson, Mackay, one-on-one with Brooke, steps through, can't finish with the left. Gets it back though, Mackay. Boy, she plays so hard.
Yeah, that was a tough board from her. She's just a workhorse.
Gill can't hit the 1-foot runner. Ellie Wilson kind of lacking her usual aggression at the moment. Weirung's not taking a backward step though. She's in a double figures, Weirung, the team leading scorer for the Lightning. Kick for Townsville. Payne in the corner is good.
And do you know how many times they've done that kick to the free person in the corner? They just find that open man so well, Townsville.
Talbot finds Whittle rolling to the rim and she kisses it off the glass.
And that's what Adelaide need. They need a bit more of that. And
Less of that.
much less of that. You know, you got to talk on D.
Great execution from Townsville as they find Mackay rolling to the rim, having herself a night, Megan Mackay.
The problem I'm seeing with Adelaide, every time they're scoring, it's so hard. They're working so hard, whereas Townsville look like they're doing it just so easily when they score.
And again, Mackay, back-to-back buckets. She's got 14 and 6. Yet another turnover for Adelaide.
But to Townsville's credit, it is their D that is making it so difficult for Adelaide, and they're just relentless. They are not giving up. They are just keeping at them.
Field goal differential nightmare for Adelaide right now. Here comes Mackay, sets the pick for Nicholson. Heel has Weirung, wants to go to work. Between the legs, crosses it back. Lefty, Talbot sends it out of bounds. 4.5 on the shot clock for Townsville.
She does that one-handed scoop so well.
Hill needs to make a play, get it up. Shot clock beat her to the job.
All right, there's one stop for Adelaide. So go down, get a score, and just get another stop. Bring it back to basics and see if they can chip away at this lead.
Coach Gubbles, get her into the huddle. Here comes Wilson. Geez, the handle is all over the shot. You've got 12 turnovers, and you just get the feeling the next one's around the corner. Not when Weirung's got it, though. She gets to the bucket and scores, plus the foul.
That was a nice handoff. And she put her body on the line, protected the ball. Well deserved.
That's 13 on the night now for Weirung, 2 more than her season average. We're 3.5 minutes into the third term. The one shining light for Adelaide as Talbot picks up her first personal.
Look, it could be worse for Adelaide. They could be doing this in Townsville in front of Townsville's home crowd. So, you know, it could always be worse.
Hanging a little tougher in the first few minutes of this third term, though, Adelaide, despite the turnovers. Bodies crashing everywhere. And everybody gets up okay. Ortlip and Heal have a laugh.
I thought Ortlip was injured there with the grimace on her face, but she's up and about, which is good to see.
Alex Wilson grabbing at her left shoulder. Keep an eye on that. She chases Nicholson off some picks. Here is Nicholson. Payne's wide open on the pop. And in and out. Megan Mackay, yet another rebound. Adelaide finally clear it. Here comes Weirung. Adelaide's leading scorer on the night. Feeling good. Wilson hits the deck. Smith nearly throws it away. Wilson lets it fly, and it's down. Ali Wilson with the three-point hit.
Nice shot, but they had to work so hard for that. It was messy, but they got there in the end.
Payne on the drive, off the glass.
That's a nice soft touch. She's been pretty impressive this season too, Nadine Payne.
Put up 11 and 8 last game, Payne. Megan Mackay, again with her hands in. She's everywhere right now. Wilson has another look from range. It's off. Heel wheeling and dealing off the dribble, splashes the three.
Here we go, Liam. She's off and running.
Second half, Shyla. She's got 6 now, Heel. 5 boards to go with it. Ortlip can't respond. So just when Adelaide were hanging tough, on the verge of getting blown back out, Mackay once again scores down low. She's the game-leading scorer now with 16.
To me, it just looks like Adelaide's just waving the white flag a bit.
The frustration on the face of Luella Tomlinson as the turnover ensued. There's Shannon Seabohm, head coach of the Fire, as you said, Michelle, extended during the week by the Fire front office.
Clearly very happy with his work this season.
Getting his squad ready for a tilt at the title. Here's Reed. Reed, Gaze and Akuso all in off the bench. Reed open on the arc, and she makes it count.
And Reed has just been great when she's come in tonight.
She's got 12, Reed. 4 of 5 from the field. 9-0 run for Townsville and a turnover from the Lightning. Here comes Nicholson. Finds Reed. Don't tell me. Oh, boy. Steph Reed feeling it.
That's so good to see.
She's got 15 now, Reed. An equal season high for her. Tomlinson puts it back, knocks Nicholson to the hardwood.
And what a time for Steph Reed to do it right before finals.
Signed with Townsville after 2 years with Southside, seeking greater opportunities. Nicholson scoring underneath.
And that's just too easy.
And here she is, Steph Reed, playing a key role on a finals team and in tremendous form as we head to the pointy end of the season.
Yeah. And Shannon Seaborn, he should be very happy with himself and his team. So he'd be going for Coach of the Year too, do you think?
Well, does he get it?
I'm a yes.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. They're going to have a big night when the awards get handed out. Whittle can't finish underneath. It was a good pass that set her up. Nicholson, here she comes again. Hezzy, left, off the glass, doing everything right. Lauren Nicholson. Much needed score for Townsville via Whittle. Here comes Reed. Oh, stolen from Wilson. She read that like a cheap novel and she finishes down the other end.
And so Lauren Jackson has tweeted that Steph Reed reminds her of Debbie Black. Now, for Debbie Black in the old days, she played down in Tassie, and she was just that dogged defense and
Goodness me.
could pretty much do things like that as well. But yeah, and I agree with Lauren Jackson. I've got to say.
Just a little too much on the hesitation move there from Reed.
She looked puzzled. She's allowed to do one thing wrong.
Not sure she did it all that wrong, to be honest. Cradled it a little bit. Shout out to Julian O'Brien for bringing that tweet to our attention, the editor of the Illawarra Mercury. Lauren Jackson enjoying the work of Steph Reed tonight.
I'm enjoying the work of Townsville Fire tonight. They've brought it, and they're not taking a step back.
So you mentioned during the halftime, Michelle, that if you were one of those top couple of teams, Southside, Canberra, or the Melbourne Boomers, you'd be a little scared of Townsville heading into the finals. What is it about them that would frighten you?
Look, I think that it's their guard rotation. And I think they match up like with the likes of the Caps, because they've got the Maddie Roches, they've got the good guards as well. So they've got a close matchup. I think it's when it comes to the likes of the Southside Flyers, and Townsville do have the smaller guards. I think they might have a bit more difficulty when they have to match up against a Beck Cole. Yeah, they'll be fine with Leilani Mitchell, but like a Beck Cole will be a bit more of a struggle for them, and they'll be looking to post up, and that's what teams are beginning to do a little bit more, to post up the small guards of the Townsville Fire.
It's a 31-point margin. A minute and a half outside from three-quarter time. Whittle steps back and cranes the triple out of the timeout. Big time hit from Whittle.
Yeah, if you're that close to the three-point line, you may as well step outside it.
Talbot picks off Reed's pass. Wilson kicks it to Whittle. And she gets right to the cut, Marina Whittle. So 5 quick points from Whittle out of the timeout for Adelaide. Wilson picks off Reed's pass. Couple of turnovers in a row from Reed. Wilson can't finish.
I think there might be a timeout for Shannon Seaborn here. Just got a little bit messy.
So Whittle again connects. 7 quick points for Whittle. Talbot and Wilson forcing turnovers on the Fire, and Adelaide quickly forced the Townsville timeout.
Yeah, and a good timeout from Shannon Seaborn. But hopefully Whittle can just give Adelaide that little bit of spark they need, you know, even if they don't win this, but just to bring it back.
So it was a 35-point lead moments ago, Michelle, an 11-zip run from Adelaide.
And just, you know, those few minutes has brought it back to 24 points now, and that's what they need to do. We don't want to see Adelaide give up here, so they just need to build on the momentum that Marina Whittle just gave them. Unfortunately, Shannon Seaborn, hopefully, from his sake, he's hoping to have broken that momentum.
We talk about Talbot and Wilson getting into the passing lanes there. They're a combined, Michelle, 2 from 12 from the field, those two.
And that's so not like them.
But in this moment out of that previous timeout, finding other ways to impact the game and get their team going.
Yeah, and maybe, you know, Adelaide, get up the floor in D, because when you're playing good D and you're up the floor and you get that physicality and the momentum, it translates to your offensive game.
Brooke Basham crawling into Steph Reed in the backcourt. Switching D from Adelaide on the perimeter. And Carly Smith takes it from Akuso. Here come the Lightning. Talbot, mid-range, pull up, bucket. 13-zip run to the Lightning.
This is good to see.
Townsville is desperately trying to get to three-quarter time. All of a sudden, there's a pep in Adelaide's step. Reed, Mackay. Reed kicks it out to Kate Gaze, and the 40% three-point shooter can't connect.
That was great ball movement too. Steph Reed could have shot that within the three-point line, but she passed it out to Kate Gaze.
On the half-time buzzer, oh wow! What a knockdown triple from Courtney Woods. Townsville were, excuse the pun, under fire from the Lightning late in that term.
I like that.
And on the three-quarter time buzzer, thanks to an offensive board and a kick out from Steph Reed, Courtney Woods went bang.
And Courtney Woods has played some really good minutes for Townsville Fire. She comes out and she's got a one dribble jumper that, yeah, she plays some good minutes, and that would include what she just did then.
That was big. They'd cut it to 22 from 35 down. They'd cut it to 22 now. It sounds strange to get excited about a 22-point margin, but we were headed to something pretty ugly there for a moment. But that three-point hit will calm all the nerves on that Townsville bench.
Yeah, and look, if you look at the assists, Townsville are sharing the ball, 15 assists to 8 for the Lightning. The rebounds, 30 to Townsville, 23 to Lightning. Like, they pretty much win everywhere.
To get to the down pick before we get into it, right? So if that's just the inbounder or whatever, right, give her time to get there, get into our double screen. If you want to curl it and play to the end, is fine. If you want to get it back to the mid-ball screen, that's fine as well, right? Continue being aggressive, attacking the paint. Every time we do, we draw a crowd, we're going to get good looks, all right? Hey, stay locked in here, let's finish this off.
And that's exactly what they do so well, Townsville. They penetrate, they get a foot in the paint, and then they dish it out and find that open man so well.
Good look at Taylor Ortlip.
You'd hope it was your best side. It was that good a look at her.
We mentioned in the pre-game, Michelle, haven't mentioned it much since, but if you're joining us late, it's Mia Murray's 300th. The three-time champ, former grand final MVP. And the big celebrations, the presentations, as Heel gets to the free throw line, will take place on Sunday in Townsville in front of family and friends.
So she'd already be a WNBL life member because you get that at 250. So that's what Maddie Garrick, so she'll be a WNBL life member now too. So it's good to see all these players getting these milestones. So congratulations, Mia Murray.
Is there a club that everyone meets up at?
I think
or?
there's, I wish. I think that there's a Facebook group and
Okay.
yeah. Clearly I'm not a WNBL life member yet.
250 games and it gets into the Facebook group. See if you can track us down a screenshot at some stage. Michelle, here's Carly Smith. Talbot calls for the Smith pick. On the attack, Talbot. Heel comes across, but Steph Talbot good enough. So an early bucket from Adelaide in this fourth quarter. They cut the margin back to 25. Payne off the heel, fine, too strong. Smith coming in and having a little impact.
So all this talk about the awards, the actual awards function is on Monday. So we can put this all to bed, Liam, and see whether we're right.
Here's Basham, backs up, operates on Nadine Payne. Smith pops out for three. We need some of those to go down, Adelaide. If they can, not going to win the game from here, Michelle, but in order to make this scoreline a little bit more respectable. Nicholson, good defense from Marina Whittle and forces the turnover.
That was good, D.
Is it time for Shannon Seabohm to call off the horses? Nicholson, Heel, Mackay, Payne, they've carried a big load for this Townsville team and they've got a big game on Sunday.
Yeah, and look, they've got this in the bag. So if it was me, I would, but clearly I'm not Shannon Seabohm. So, I just don't see the point running your main players into the ground now.
Yep, another turnover for Adelaide, their 15th of the night.
Because you look at, like Nicholson's played 27 minutes, Nadine Payne's played 27 minutes, so maybe, they could get them out for a bit of a rest.
It's a fine balancing act, isn't it? Because the confidence that the group gets from a dominant win like this, Nicholson absolutely flowing offensively. She's got 21.
Yeah, and as we saw in the last game, Guy Malloy did put his bench in, then got a little bit worried and was going to get like Ezzy back in, but it was a bit of a seesawing match. But yeah, he rested. Like Kayla George hardly played at all. I think she played like 15 minutes, if that. So it'll be interesting to see the battle and if Townsville will have the legs on Sunday.
Heel for three. Here comes Talbot in transition. In attack mode, pulls up, finds Brooke. She was wrapped up down low by Shyla Heel, her second personal.
It was a big mismatch, so that was a good pass in.
What can Adelaide muster out of this final term? Chris Lucas and Matt Hurst, the recently retired 6-time champ. Hurst now the brains trust for the Lightning.
Yeah, and we heard very early in the season, Chris Lucas was a big rap and thinks that Nat Hurst will be a WNBL coach and will make a very good one.
Heel, Mackay, Woods, bucket.
That inside-outside action just is a killer.
Woods up to 6 now. She's knocked down 2 from long range. Adelaide with their 17th turnover of the night.
not going to win many games with 17 turnovers.
Mackay going to work down low, gets to the free throw line. She has been really big tonight, Megan Mackay. She's got 16 points. She's pulled down 7 boards, Michelle. Has had a couple of steals and sent 1 shot packing.
Yeah, really impressive, just really strong.
Leads the league in field goal percentage. That's probably all she wrote for Lauren Nicholson, you'd imagine.
Yeah, which is a shame because I love watching it, but I totally get it, and I think Seaborn has made a very good decision there.
Uh, 4 years at St Mary's for Mackay. She played 1 year in Germany and really has been terrific for Shannon Seaborn and this Fire squad, and has a big future ahead of her. As does Taylor Ortlip. The youngsters shining in the Chemist Warehouse WNBL this season.
Yeah, she's played some good minutes for Adelaide, really good minutes.
Heel and 1 finish to the rim. She takes her tally to 10. Heel has 7 boards to go along with it. She's played something of a support role tonight on the scoring tally. Nicholson, of course, leading the way for Townsville with 21. Mackay has 17 and Steph Reed with 15 off the bench.
Yeah, and sometimes it's okay to play that support role, and she's doing it well.
Great back cut from Weirang. She finishes at the cup.
And she's been pretty impressive, Weirang. She's now at 15 points.
Mackay again down low. She's got a season high 19. Big night from Megan Mackay in a big game.
So it's at 30 points. You really don't want it to blow out any further. But having said that, they've got like Talbot's on the bench now. I think it's going to be a clinical rest of the 4th quarter for Townsville.
What kind of future do you think Megan Mackay has in the game? The Western Australian, 23-year-old, who is having such a big night tonight.
23 and 6'4". We always need big players, and you know Sandy Brondella would be watching this, and she's got to be watching quite a few players though that aren't in that Opal squad. They're not going to. It's not going to happen in the next, because I think in 2 weeks they've got their first camp. But she's made people stand up and say, "Hey, I can play. I might be a future Opal in the future." That really didn't make sense, a future Opal in the future.
It made all kinds of sense. I'm on board with it, and I'm on board with Megan Mackay as well, and I'm on board with Seabomb's decision to let her roll. She's having a career night as far as her WNBL career is concerned. A season high 19, working on a double-double, and if he can help to build her confidence down the stretch here as Ortlip splashes another 3 ahead of the finals, that can only pay dividends.
Yeah, I agree as well. I think that's a good move.
Here's Murray, waits for Mackay to set the pick, lets it fly from range. Oh, Mia Murray from downtown.
She said, happy 300th to me. I think I'll take that.
Funky possession for the Lightning, and Mackay blocks Tomlinson at the rim. Here's Steph Reed in transition. Shows it, spins, scores it.
When things are going right, they're really going right. She's so impressive tonight, Steph Reed.
She's got a season high of her own, Steph Reed, 17 points off the bench. What an enormous impact she's had. 6 of 7 from the field.
It's pretty nice shooting.
So we're inside the final 4 minutes in Cairns. What was billed as a game with enormous playoff implications has become a showcase from the Townsville Fire as they lock themselves inside the top 4 and maintain an opportunity at a top 2 finish. Off the board. Oh,
Banked.
sorry, it was that Badish?
Badish.
Okay.
Badish banked it off
Ella
the board.
Badish. At a DMP on Wednesday night, Badish comes in and knocks that down. Oh, Courtney Woods. It was raining before, and now it's pouring for the Fire. So it's a 32-point margin for Townsville. Tomlinson will call it a night. Got the start tonight, Luella Tomlinson, the 10-year pro. And frustrating night for Adelaide's coming to an end.
Yeah, they'll just want these last 3 minutes to go quickly, I think.
Here's Steph Reed. Finds Payne underneath. Oh, Payne misses a bunny. Weira kicks it to Smith in the corner. Comes off the rim. Morgan Yeager in for Adelaide.
Oh, that was a hard hit. She ran into a brick wall.
3 seconds on the shot clock. Smith launches it hard off the front of the rim. Yeager all over it, gets it back. Here is Yeager. Attacks, loses it out of bounds. And former Adelaide DP, back from 4 years of college ball at Oregon. 22-year-old getting some burn late in this one.
Yeah, I've loved having all these players that are coming back from college ball and playing in the league, and I think that's what it's all about. You go develop your game and then come back, and that's a certain pathway, and it's a good pathway for a lot of players.
Smith picks off the pass from Kate Gaze, launches it from mid-range. Kuso swallows it up. So a 32-point margin for Townsville. Minute and a half remaining in the fourth quarter in Cairns. It's been a dominant display by the Fire. Gaze, Kuso. Yeager takes it for the Lightning. Spinning in transition, Yeager shows a little something off the bench.
Nice move. And Akuzo's been pretty quiet. She's had her 15 minutes and only 4 points. So, you know, but Nicholson has just been outstanding.
For Adelaide, quiet nights from really their big three, Steph Talbot, Ali Wilson and Chelsea Brook. They combined for less than 20 together, and 6 from 22 from the field.
Look, the shining light for Adelaide has been Weirang, I think, and Marina Whittle put in some good minutes there, but she probably just needed a bit more of those good minutes.
Yeah, they haven't needed a lot of Akuso tonight, have they, with Megan Mackay in such dominant form?
No, and that's the luxury they have. All right, so Akuzo's not firing. They've got Megan Murray firing, or they've got Nadine Payne firing in that front court.
Whittle with a corner three. She's had a pretty good night, Marina Whittle. She's got 14, one shy of her season high.
I can't help it. I just really wanted that to go down for Steph Reed. I really did.
She's had a big night, hasn't she? We can't finish. The shot clock turned off. They could just dribble it out. Townsville. One last offensive possession. Reed wheels and deals off Akuso. Woods lets it fly, and that is the cherry on top for Townsville. A late three from Courtney Woods. As time winds down in Cairns, and Townsville take a big win. It's the Fire 95, Adelaide Lightning 66.
Yeah, look, a really good team effort from Townsville Fire. They'll be flying high, and they'll be ready for their game on Sunday against the Boomers. As for Adelaide, a disappointing end to their season, but I know that Chris Lucas had a 2-year plan for this team. And if they had Alana Smith in the team as well, that would have made a huge difference to them, but they didn't. So now they've just got to move their focus to next season.
So Mia Murray celebrates her 300th WNBL game with a big victory. Townsville take it by 29 points. It was Lauren Nicholson, the game-leading scorer with 21. She was sensational. Both ends of the floor, as she has been all season, 10 and 14 from the field. And ably supported by Megan Mackay, 19 and 7. Steph Reed had 17. Courtney Woods had 12 off the bench. And Shyla Heel, the 5th Fire player in double figures, 10 points and 7 boards.
And it was good to see that Courtney Woods just snuck in with that last shot to get into double figures as well. Another one of their bench players. But yeah, it was a real well-rounded effort from the Townsville Fire, and they're taking selfies, so they are clearly very happy with themselves right now.
Oh,
and
great
so
shot. What a great shot by our cameraman. Catching the selfie moment from the Fire. Megan Murray makes her way down to the media board. We're going to have a chat with her. For Adelaide, 2 players in double figures on the scoreboard. Abby Weirung leading the way with 15, and Marina Whittle had 14, as they took a big loss. Here's some of Megan Mackay's great work tonight. We sung her praises all night long, Michelle, and she had what was really her best game in the WNBL thus far.
She's just really strong, and she works so hard. You can just see right there her posting up. She's sitting into it and just waiting for that good pass, and works really hard, and she deserves all the accolades she gets.
Such a handful down low. Mackay played, as you said, plays so hard, and her effort and endeavour really paid off tonight, filling the box score and playing a large role in what was a big win. And she joins us now. Megan, congratulations, a 29-point win in what was
defensive team in the league, and I think we're excited to match them and see how we go.
Well, you guys might be in that conversation as well. You had Adelaide on absolute lockdown
Hope so.
tonight. Congratulations, big game from you, big game for the team. Well done.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Cheers. Megan Mackay, a standout performer tonight in Townsville's 29-point win. And great to hear from her, the young talent shining bright in this WNBL season.
Yeah, she's been fantastic. Great game, and I just think in the future she's going to be one to watch.
Here's some of the highlights of the second half. There was a moment in time, Michelle, when Adelaide started making something of this game. Really looked like they were fighting back into it, cut the margin down from 35 down to somewhere in the low 20s. And then it was Courtney Woods on the three-quarter time buzzer that was the settling play for Townsville. And from there, they never really looked back.
Yeah, and that was just heartbreaking. And, for Adelaide, it was too little, too late. It really was. They let Townsville get away at the start, and they just couldn't bring it back. It was just too much of a lead.
And of course, Mia Murray knocking that triple down to celebrate her 300th. She had 6 points, a couple of hits from long range, and there you see 9 from 21, 43% from outside for Townsville, and 57% from the field overall, and the 18 turnovers, Michelle, for Adelaide were costly.
Yeah, and 18 turnovers, you're not going to win a game with 18 turnovers. So, and 13 for the Fire. You want to keep it around 10, but you can live with that when you've got a win like they just had.
And now we glance forward to what will be the final day of the Chemist Warehouse WNBL regular season. On Sunday, we've got 3 games on the slate, and that Townsville-Melbourne game, with Townsville taking care of business tonight, is set to be a blockbuster.
Yeah, and Townsville are just an exciting team to watch. They really are, and they bring it every game. And the Boomers, they have been flying under the radar, just kind of cruising. And now they're all going to have to step up.
So the top 4 teams will all play against each other in the final day of the regular season, as they give you a little preview to what will be on offer in the finals. Tickets on sale now, WNBL.basketball/tickets. All those games will be played in Townsville, 100% capacity in that stadium, and the basketball will be red hot.
Oh, it will for sure. And did the WNBL know something that they had put those last games on the last day of the season end? Because technically they could go Southside Flyers and Caps could play each other again. Same with Boomers and Townsville in the first game, in the first of the finals. But that's not set, so I'm not saying that's set. It could work anyway. There's a lot of permutations and combinations there.
Yeah, exactly. Where those top 4 teams finish will be decided on that final day. So while we do have our finalists locked in, still a lot to look out for on that final day of the regular season. It was a big night for us tonight. It was the Melbourne Boomers with a big win over Bendigo in the first leg of the doubleheader, and Townsville Fire with a 29-point victory over Adelaide to lock themselves into the top 4. From the Cairns Pop-Up Arena, the Snag Pit in far north Queensland, on behalf of Michelle Gubbles and myself, Liam Santa Maria, and the whole hardworking crew at the arena and out the back here, thank you very much for watching. We hope you've enjoyed it. This has been the Chemist Warehouse WNBL.